Hello guys, what is up? My name's the Advanced Playmaker and welcome to another Tactics Spotlight I've got for you today. And today I'm looking at the 3-4-3 key formation, I'm going to call it, because it kind of looks a bit like a key. I coined that phrase off Let's Play with CHC over at Passion for FM. But yeah, this is the tactic that we're going over with today. I've been using it quite a lot on my stream. I've done a save with Newcastle on my stream. I've been using this formation. It's been really successful for us. 2 third place finishes and a couple of finals in the second season, but we'll get to the results of the tactic later. First thing we're going to go over is the philosophy. That's always the most important thing about the tactic, is how you want the shape to be, how you want them to go about their play with the instructions, and then look at how the individual roles are going to make that happen. So, first things we're going to look at here is the team shape, and we're going for a nice fluid team shape. This has been on my other 2 tactics as well. Nice fluid team shape. As usual, the team is split into broad attacking and defensive units, and more creative players responsible for the attacking phase, and the more defensively disciplined players responsible for the defensive phase. However, players from each unit, so everyone, is expected to help with the transition phase when moving the ball forward. So yeah, that's the team shape we're using. You could go to very fluid with this tactic, but I've gone with only fluid to add a little bit more structure to it, but you can tinker around a bit. Next is the mentality. This tactic is all about slow build-up play. We're going with a control mentality. It's best employed for matches where you believe you're the stronger team but are wary of your opponent's counter-attacking threat. That's the main thing, is we play a high-pressure tactic in this, a lot of pressure up the pitch. We play an offside trap, and we have to be wary of the counter-attack. Counter-attacking threats is going to be the main problem when it comes to the enemy attacking you. Aims to move the ball around the park and be patiently probe the final third to find space. And when it opens up, although fullbacks overlap and midfielders will break ahead of the forwards, they will generally only do so during relatively risk-free situations. That's a very key thing. We're using wing-backs here as our only wide men, so these guys I want to be overlapping only when it's risk-free. We don't want them always bombing forward. And it says here, we usually sit back and help the midfielder maintain possession until chances open up. So that's the mentality and the team shape, just like the philosophy. Now we've got the last bit, is the team instructions. So for the team's instructions, we've got a shorter passing game. We're playing out of defence, and we're playing with a lower tempo. So these 3 make sure we build up slowly and assuredly, keep a lot of possession, and don't be wasteful with it. We've also got to use the offside trap, close down more, and push higher up. This is to facilitate the high pressing game. We're going to be pressing the team high up the top, trying to force them to make mistakes, using the offside trap and making the pitch as small as possible for them to use. Give them as little space in the midfield and close them down early to curtail any counter-attacks. And we've also got play narrow and look for the overlap. So we're playing a nice narrow formation when we're going forward. Our attack is based through the middle. So we're playing a bit narrower, and we're looking for an overlap. With the deep lying forward that we have the 2 players playing off him. We want them overlapping, and we also want our box-to-box midfielder and our 2 wing-backs overlapping as well. So that's what we've got to look for overlap on. And I've currently got low crosses on. This is basically because this tactic doesn't use sort of physically large presences up front. The main attacking threats are the front 3. The deep line forward could well be an aerial threat, but the 2 creative players off him are most likely not going to be, and aren't with our Newcastle team. So I've gone for low crosses. You could probably go for something else if you wish, maybe whipped crosses, but I wouldn't really suggest floated crosses because you're only really going to have 1 aerial threat up front. But that's completely up to you. We've also got be more expressive on. This is a very important part of this tactic. Be more expressive will allow more creative players the freedom to play with the game with additional vision and flair outside the confines of the team's tactical setup. So the front 3 we want them to be really expressive, try and be creative, playing off one and another, instead of being sort of very disciplined and only playing a certain way. With the possession that the rest of the team allows us to maintain, these guys can be a lot more sort of creative and flourishous. So there we go, that's all of the philosophy done. Now, as usual, we're going to look at each individual position and how they do what they do, and what key factors you want in the players to playing there. So we've got a standard goalkeeper defend here. I'm not going to go over much of this. I never really do with goalkeepers. You just want as best a goalkeeper as you can. If he's good on one-on-ones and rushing out, that's a bonus, just in case the offside trap is beaten. and you can have a keeper who comes out and will have a good chance one-on-one. But you know, I've just gone for a keeper defend. Wouldn't really recommend a sweeper keeper because we have got 3 at the back, so we shouldn't be too often exposed at the back. So first thing we got to go through is this back 3 here. These guys are the 3 main defenders, all looking out for each other. We've got 2 centre backs on defend and a ball playing defender on the stopper role. So we'll look first of all at the ball playing defender. He's the key to this defence, and the other 2 support him. So let's have a look at the ball playing defender first. So here we go. Here they've got the key stats for a ball playing defender. There's quite a lot, of course. This guy is going to be our stopper, which basically means he's going to be rushing out of the defence to close down the players trying to play in between that line of midfield and defence. And also, when the clearance comes in to their forward up front, he's going to be the one who instantly goes in, makes a tackle, and makes sure that they can't have a base to build that counter-attack upon. Also, because he's a ball-playing defender and we don't have a DM, he is there to be a bit of an option to recycle possession, and he'll be the person that we look to firstly give the ball to when we start building up play. He needs to be good on the ball, basically, so good first touch, good passing is very key here. Main thing I'd look at is making sure he has really good tackling. Good heading is always key for a defender, but the main things are his mentals. You really want him to be very composed, very good concentration, good decisions, and very brave, and very good at anticipating situations. This guy needs to be smart. You can't have him diving in and then you know, messing up chances, giving away silly free kicks every time the ball comes away. Positioning is a very important one as well. You want him to always be, you know, ready to curtail that counter-attack. But yeah, this guy, although he does have cover from the 2 centre-backs, he does need to be very good at anticipating what is going on and making the tackle when it's needed to be, not wastefully throwing himself in and leaving the other 2 exposed at the back. So now we've done the ball-playing defender, we're now looking at the 2 centre defenders on defend, and these guys are basically there as a strong 2 to help cover the ball-playing defender. Also, if he gets into some trouble, you know, with any lone men up front on the counter, one of the the other centre backs can come in and help him there, creating a 2-on-1 instantly, and hopefully gaining the ball back really quickly. So we'll have a look at these now. So here are the highlighted key roles for this centre back. I pretty much just go with these key roles that they've highlighted here. Being good at heading, as I said, is a prerequisite for any defender. Good mentally is a good help. He needs to be very good at positioning in this type of tactic. Good at his strength and jump and reach. Very good tackling. Good marking as well helps a lot for when the build-up play from the opposition is very slow. When you have this flat back 3, if you've got a good marker, they're not going to get past anyone. And an additional thing I would add for this centre-back as well is also pace. Pace is very good for us, as I said. If we get hit on the counter with our men pushing up high and trying to play the offside trap, having pace on the defender is very, very key. Ability on the ball isn't as big of a deal as with the ball-playing defender. Basically, the centre-back is going to look to try and offload the ball to a better, technically gifted player than himself, whether it be the wing-back, the centre-mids, or the ball-playing defender. So he's not really going to have much time on the ball. That's not his role. He's just there to help hold that defensive line and provide cover for the ball-playing defender as he shoots out. Also, because we are playing a sort of team pressing game, I'm going to say with all of these roles, teamwork and work rate are a massive thing. If you're going to play this high pressure game up front with lots of closing down, you're going to need to have good teamwork and work rate. Everyone's got to work hard for each other, otherwise it's simply not going to work. So there we go, that's the centre backs done. We'll now move on to the next position, which is going to be these 2 wing backs. Now, I'm going to go over them on a whole as just one position, like with one role. As you can see here, I've got a complete wing back on support on the left hand side. You could go with attack here. There's 2 reasons why I went with support originally. One was because my left hand side wasn't as strong as our right hand side. Now we've both got 2 wing backs that are both very good, so I could probably change that to attack. But also, I wanted to try and not limit the space that the Trequartista has up top. He's going to be roaming a lot and trying to find the breakthrough and unlock the defence up front. I didn't want the complete wing back to sort of stifle his movement. He's going to just hang back a little, make sure we have 3 in midfield basically when we do go attacking. And he offers an option up front, but doesn't, as I say, creatively stifle the Trequartista. So let's have a look at the complete wing backs. Here we go. As you can see here, a lot of key roles are highlighted by the game. Complete wing backs do have to be just that. They have to be complete. They have to be good going forward, but also good at the back. However, in our case, I would say ability on the ball slightly trumps defensive ability, although you do really want these guys, once again, as I said, with high teamwork, high work rate, and very good positioning with these wing backs. You don't want them to be exposed. These are our only wide bit of defence. The centre backs can provide a bit of cover. The central defenders on defend, but you don't want that to lead to the ball playing defender being exposed. They are our wide option. They are providing our width to the tactic. So having good crossing, good dribbling, and being quick is really, really important and useful. And also having good stamina, running up and down that wing. In terms of other mentals, off the ball is very good as well. Flair, I wouldn't really say is much of a thing that you need. Decisions is a good stat to have high as well, because they need to be making the right decisions when to go forward and when to stay back. And also the good usual fullback attributes like tackling and marking are also very good, because as I said, they do have to provide our defensive width. But there we go, there's a complete wing back. So now we can move on to my personal favourite part of the formation, which is the two centre midfielders. These two roles really work well together, in my opinion. So first of all, I'm going to go with the centre midfielder on defend. This guy is the heartbeat of the team. He keeps the clock ticking, keeps recycling possession, and is the real sort of pit bull battler in centre midfield, making the tackles, stopping any counter attacks, and yeah, being our muscle in midfield. So let's have a look at this. So here you go, here are some of the key stats for the centre midfielder on defend. Once again, as I said, with all the positions, teamwork and work rate are massive in this formation. But Mark Noble, I've got here at Newcastle, gets special mention. This guy has been unbelievable in this role for me. The perfect sort of player to play there. He's got good passing to keep the possession recycled, but the main thing is his mental. He's good concentrated, he's got good determination, he's very good at making his decisions. Positioning's a bit low. Positioning is very key for this role as a centre midfielder on defend. You also want him to have decent tackling, but even with tackling 12, Mark Noble makes plenty of his tackles, so having high tackling, as I said, is really good, because he will be that sort of pitbull in midfield. He'll always be there, but the main thing is for him to keep the clock ticking in midfield, recycle that possession, always be open as an option in midfield if we haven't got anything up front and we're being closed down. So that's where the positioning comes in really, really importantly. And obviously things like good first touch. His heading's not good, but that's not too big of an issue. But yeah, there's the centre midfielder on defend. So there's our sort of, as I said, heartbeat of the team. Now for this next role, I've personally gone for a box-to-box midfielder, and I do think that this is the best role for this position. But depending on your team, you could probably vary this role. Maybe go for a roaming playmaker, say, who is more of a sort of offensive box-to-box. He won't get back as much. You could go for an advanced playmaker, even a deep-line playmaker, if you want an extra person to hold that midfield, if you think you're going to get outnumbered very badly in midfield. But I've gone for a box-to-box midfielder for his athleticism. He can help out in midfield and also provide an extra overlapping threat up front. And yeah, it really adds a sort of another dynamic to this team. Each role in midfield and going forward just adds its own unique sort of dimension going forward and different threat, which is a really good thing I think about this tactic. Is it's very adaptable. It's hard to stop every single threat. So let's have a look at the box-to-box midfielder. So as you can see here, physicals are very important for a box-to-box midfielder, and also the mentals. So we're going to have a look at some of these. Off the ball is very key, as I said, usually teamwork and work rate is important with this. Positioning, not so much important in my eyes. Having good positioning does help a lot, but I don't think it's that important. But his decision making and his concentration and anticipation are definitely very, very key attributes for the midfielder. He needs to be able to anticipate when to go forward and when to come back, and how to cut out attacking moves before they start. He also needs to be very determined, have the right decisions when to go forward and back, and he's got to be concentrating. You can't be caught napping when you're playing this role, trying to go forward and come back, because if he is caught napping, he's going to leave his centre midfielder isolated, and also the ball playing defender isolated. They can cover each other, but as I said earlier, if they do get outnumbered in midfield, it is very difficult. And also you've got the standard midfield stats, good passing, good tackling for in midfield. Finishing and first touch are very key as well for his attacking sort of threat. Good long shots is a bonus as well, because he will be picking up the ball quite a lot outside of the area. And the physicals are very, very, very important. If you are going to play a box-to-box midfield, he needs to have high stamina. That is an absolute must, and natural fitness. Having a bit of acceleration is good as well to break away from his man, and being strong is good for the midfield battle as well. That's why I've gone for box-to-box midfielder. It adds so much athleticism and directness to the play. So now that's the sort of midfield done, we can go on to the front three. Now, first of all, we're going to go with what the Trequartista brings to the table, what he's there to do. He's the playmaking role in this formation, the only playmaking role really. Even though it's not called a playmaker, Trequartista basically is the playmaking role in this. So we'll have a look at the Trequartista. So here's the Trequartista, here's the key stats for him. Basically, you want this guy to be your main creative threat in terms of his passing and his vision. Vision very important, off the ball is good as well to find some space. Flair is very important as well. Decisions, composure important. Anticipation is really good as well to anticipate attacking moves going forward. For me, the main things that he needs to be good with is his passing, his first touch, and his dribbling. It's not been highlighted here, but you do want him to have good dribbling as well. Being able to finish is very good as well, because he will be getting on the end of crosses and passes himself as well. And technique's also good to have as well, along with agility and general good sort of fast physical attributes. If he's quick and got good agility, that helps a lot. But yeah, he's going to be the main creative player. When the ball gets to him, he's going to have his head up and looking for his other players around him, whether it be the wing back, whether it be the box-to-box going forward, the shadow striker breaking free, the deep lying forward might even be breaking free, or, you know, anybody. So before we go into the shadow striker, I'm going to do the deep lying forward first, because I think his role really plays well with the shadow striker. So let's go on to that. So here we go with the deep lying forward. Now this guy's main sort of function is to hold up the ball and bring the other creative players in around him. And then once we do get into that final third, offer himself up as an extra body in the box, trying to get on the end of crosses and through balls, etc. So the main things I want for this position basically is good strength, good balance, good passing as well, although Facundo Ferreira doesn't have that. As I said, as usual, teamwork and work rate are important. Once again, Facundo Ferreira doesn't have that, unfortunately. First touch is very important, and so is the dribbling. And then, in terms of his mentals, off the ball is pretty good, and vision. The rest aren't too bad. Decisions is always good for an attacking player. Being composed and anticipating things is sort of a bonus, in my opinion. And having the added dimension of being able to have a good header on him, a good jumping reach is very useful. I wouldn't say it's key, but it is useful to be able to add another dimension to the hold-up play he's got up front, and also offer himself as sort of a aerial presence in the box as well. As I said earlier, with the crossing methods, you'll have to kind of adapt your front threes stats to how you want the crosses to come in. That's the only thing I'd mess around with the player instructions. The team instructions, sorry. But there we go, there's the deep lying forward. The man is going to bring everyone else into play and then offer himself in the final third as an option. So here we go, final role we've got here is the shadow striker. He's going to be probably our main goal getter, along with the Trequartista and deep lying forward, but I'd say he is the main goal getter. So let's have a look how this guy is going to function. So this guy is going to be our all-round finisher. We basically want him to have good mentals off the ball, such things as good off the ball, good work rate, and teamwork is really important for this as well, as I said, for every position, but less important with the shadow striker. Good physicals to be able to beat his man one-on-one and break away from him, and also we want him to be able to finish the chances when they do come to him. This guy is going to be looking to constantly try and overlap the deep lying forward, maybe offer an option short for the wing backs, or try and play off the deep lying forward as he pushes the defence back, try and find himself some space on the edge of the box, maybe work his way in and find a shot. So long shots, first touch and finishing are very important for this. Passing is a good role as well, because at the end of the day it is an attacking midfielder role, so you do need him to help the build-up play as well when it is going forward, the sort of slow build-up play. Mentals, composure in front of goal is key, off the ball movement is key, work rate is very key, and so is anticipation. And as I said, having a bit of physical presence, whether it be pace or strength, is very good to have here as well, to help him work his way into some space when it comes to being marked out of the game. So there we go, there is all the roles done for you guys. We're going to have a look now of how this tactic is done in terms of the league move. We're going to have a look at how this tactic is done in terms of how we've done it in the league, and all that kind of jazz to show you that it does work, and also have a look at some of the game stats. So as you can see here, in terms of overall league performances, we finished third in the first season, only 6 points off first with 85 points. In the second season, we finished third as well, only 77 points this time. Points were spread a lot more evenly across the teams, a lot more competitive season than the first one. And in this season, we've got off to a good start with 3 wins and 1 draw. Now, in terms of how the individual games were, we did get to an absolutely massive undefeated streak in the league. I think it was almost 30 games in the end, undefeated in the league, until we got battered by Tottenham at the start of the second season. And the main sort of great thing about this tactic, as you can see here, is the defence. It is so defensively solid. You do dominate possession. You'll usually get sort of around 60% possession. And also having 3 at the back, maybe even 5 at the back, you could think about it if you count the wing backs as that. You do concede very, very, very few goals, and also maintain a good attacking threat with just the sheer amount of numbers and different ways that we attack the players going forward, whether it be the complete wing backs offering the width, if they pack the centre, if they try and fan out wide, we've got numbers going through the middle, people at the box-to-box midfielder overlapping. So yeah, it's the defensive edge is the best thing about this. It is really defensively solid, and you hold positions well. If we take a look at this Wigan match here, for example, we had 68% possession in total. As you can see, plenty of passes going, everyone getting involved with all the development. We'll have a look at some of the key roles here. Trequartista trying everywhere to find space, keeping the clock ticking with the ball in possession, trying to work his way into space, bringing in other players and being sort of the creative edge for us. The shadow striker trying to get involved as much as he can outside the box. We'll have a look at the deep line forward here as well, picking up the ball in all sorts of all sorts of places. God, my speaking is very bad today. And offloading it to more creative players and the attacking threats that overlap. And we have a look at the centre mid defend here. He just kind of holds his position, making sure we retain our possession. We have a look at the tackles here. We've got all the players. Lots of tackles make. We try to make our tackles up front, and we pressure people. Pressure them a lot, but when they get past this halfway line is when we really start digging in with our tackles. The centre midfielder, the box-to-box, and the ball-playing defender really just try and edge into the game, smash people out off the ball, basically. Yeah, so that's how the tactic sort of looks. We'll have a look at the average position as well. As you can see here, very compact against Wigan. They offered good threat out wide, so we were a bit more compact going forward. That's where we found our spaces in the middle of the pitch. But you can also, if you look at other games that we've played in, there's times where our wing backs average position has been more out here, and here sometimes they're pinned back if they have good wing presence and the attackers get more forward. But this tactic is really adaptable and is just amazing overall, I feel. I can't believe I've actually put a tactic together that I'm this happy with, and that is this sort of adaptable and good at holding possession. I hope you enjoyed this video and give the tactic a try. It's worked amazingly for me, finishing third twice in a row with Newcastle, along with a Champions League final and a Capital One Cup final in the second season. Was way above expectations. Comment down below if you do use it and how you fare. If you have any questions or things you want to talk about the tactic, leave the comment down below, and make sure you smash that like button as well, and subscribe for more of these. There's going to be another tactic spotlight that I do very soon up on the channel. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been the Advanced Playmaker. Goodbye. Yellows and reds. Go on, Wild. He's just been set up there by Raheem Hanley, another loney who's at Southend. Another Swansea lad, actually. So I wonder if Southend and Swansea have an affiliation. Pray to the gods. Come on, Vidal. It's a good finish. Get in, lads. Mr. Reliable in our team. Vidal finds the back of the net. If we can get another goal, this would be great. It's putting us in a decent position for the next leg.